going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of PSR. Today we're going over my experience at Moons Out 2025. This competition happened almost a year ago, and I'm just getting to put the video out now because around the time this video posts, I will be competing in Moons Out 2026. Moons Out is a competition that was started by Ian from Forgotten Weapons. He has been running it, I think 4 or 5 years now, and it's a night vision only competition, and it's a brutality style competition. So there's a lot of physical tasks that you have to do. It's not kind of like USPSA, it's physical. It's a great test of your gear and your endurance, and of course your ability to shoot under nods. And we're gonna go over my rifle setup for this competition and how I did. But first, I gotta thank the channel sponsor for PSR, and that is Atrius Development Group. Atrius Development Group makes the FRS, the Forced Reset Selector. It is a selector that goes in your standard AR pattern rifles. It is semi-automatic, of course, but just very fast semi-automatic 3-position selector. If you're interested in getting 10% off your entire order from Atrius, never in a million years would I use PSR. 10% off your entire order. And a huge thank you and shout out to the boys at Atrius. Big thank you to them for sponsoring the channel. Also, very quickly, I gotta thank HSL Ammunition for sponsoring the ammo on this channel at Moons Out 2025. I use their 220 grain subs and my 300 Blackout MCX Virtus. Speaking of the rifle setup, I actually decided to run 2 laser aiming modules on my rifle as a little test. And I filmed this the other day, kind of going over the rifle, so I'll let you watch that right now. All right, guys, so here is the rifle, or I guess in this case, a pistol that I used for the Moons Out 2025 match. It is an MCX Virtus in 300 Blackout. Let's start at the front here. So we got the AB Suppressors Raptor 762. This is a super nice quiet can. We just have the direct thread 5/8 by 24. The handguard is the SD handguard from SIG. So this is just a SIG handguard secured properly to prevent some zero shift with the Arisaka clamp here. Maintains zero, bit better than the stock OEM SIG setup. We got the Chop B5 Systems grip here. Going back further, this is a 17 Designs lower. So this is not a full SIG MCX Virtus. This is just a conversion. So it's got a normal AR lower on it. Just a normal trigger, no FRT or anything. Back here, we got the Strike Industries single side folding brace. B5 Systems grip here, like the B5 System stuff, like the grip on there. And this is what I wanted to do with my little laser experiment. I wanted to run 2 lasers in this competition. The only way I was able to do that is because of the AMMJ Penumbra. So this has the Aimpoint T2 optics footprint. This is the most standardized red dot footprint out there, and this laser comes with that footprint, believe it or not. So you can obviously mount this low on your pick rail on the front of the gun, but what's cool about the Penumbra is that you can mount a RMR on the top, or any RMR footprint on the top, which is really neat. So I put this Gideon optic, which does have a night vision mode that actually works, which is pretty cool. So I can aim passively with this decently, actually, but the optic is on there as like a fail-safe. So we really have 3 aiming solutions on this gun. The first being the Penumbra, which is the primary laser aiming module. I really like this laser. I like the emitter. I like the controls on it. And the AMMJ is mounted to an Arisaka. I believe this is a 193 mount, so it's kind of high. I probably didn't need to mount it that high. And I routed the wire through the mount to kind of secure it, and I kind of kept those secured with this Strike Industries tension band thing. This is the Rovivon GL5 Pro, a great laser for flood. The illuminator has a really big flood beam on it, which I really like. And this is more of a dialed in, very tight throw. Now you can make it bigger and smaller on this, which you can't do with this, but this thing more for long distances, this thing perfect for short distances and CQB stuff. And I really like this GS4 switch, which is also by Rovivon. I decided I would mount this so that I could easily switch between lasers. There were some points where I actually really used this quite well, and that this actually helped quite a bit. Now this was also kind of just like a backup in case something happened with this. So I wanted to have this be kind of like a fail-safe in case for some reason this thing, not that I was thinking it would malfunction or fail or something, but in case something got snagged or some kind of cable failed, that I'd at least have another way to aim in addition to the 2 other options right here. So that's how I got my MCX Virtus 300 Blackout set up for Moons Out. What do you think of the paint job? Kind of this dark gray with stripes, kept it simple. It's just a vibe, I think. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. All right, let's talk a little bit about the stages and how I did. All right, so that was the rifle setup. How did the match go? Well, I had so much fun. These matches, particularly Moons Out, it's one of the only night vision only competitions that I know of that employs kind of this brutality mindset. If you know, I love Finnish Brutality, Lynx Brutality. Those are European competitions. So I'm gonna share a few of the memorable stages from the match. They were all fun stages. The stage planning is really incredible, especially when you have to do it under night vision. This night vision competition is held yearly at Echo Valley Training Center in West Virginia. It's a great facility, they're great hosts, so big shout out to those guys. So the stages I thought were planned out excellently. Moons Out does a great job of maintaining really safe environment, but also doing some pretty gnarly stuff under nods. So first off, I did decently in the match. I thought I did pretty well for it being my very first night vision competition. I placed 15th out of 117 competitors. My favorite stage probably was the Humvee stage. We got to shoot out of a moving Humvee that was driving through the woods. The energy from the ROs and just everything about that stage was super awesome. So the stage started with facing a target around 30 yards away. You think, okay, this is gonna be easy, but it's actually pretty hard to hit that target when the Humvee is moving. You really have to keep the rifle stable while also the rest of your body is moving with the bumps of the Humvee. So I think I maybe got like 1 or 2 hits on the first target. And then as you drive through the woods, there are targets on the left and the right that you have to hit. When you're closer to those targets, it's much easier to hit them. So I immediately saw the target to my right and just started peppering it.
20 plus 2 is 22.
And then I reloaded, saw the target on the left, and I just dumped.
23 plus 22.
So I think my total was like 40 something hits, I think. I finished the highest out of people that were using semi-auto rifles. There were some guys that had machine guns, and you can imagine, pretty close up distance, those guys were just ringing it. And Ian actually ran a Lage 5.56 upper on his Mac 11 lower, which was a machine gun, a transferable. So I think he had a drum in it or some kind of extension or something, but he was absolutely letting her piss. And that was probably my favorite stage of the entire competition, just because anytime you get to shoot from a moving car at targets in a competition, like, it's so much fun. The next stage that I really had fun at would be the blind stage. This was a blind stage where we could not actually bring our rifle or any magazines. They basically had a shoot house with a bunch of different corridors, and it's kind of like a maze. And there was a guy there that got some insane thermal drone footage. You're watching that right now. The way that this was set up is they used frangible ammo with a 10.5-inch carbine with iron sights. So it was like a Colt Commando style gun, frangible ammunition in it. So the targets were all steel. So you know when you hit that steel with regular ball ammo, it can be serious danger at such close distances. We were like talking 3 to 5, 7 yards away. So before we shot any targets, we actually had to render medical aid and apply, I think it was a gauze to a wounded person that was down on the ground. So save your buddy, pack the wound, and once the RO tells you you've packed it enough, then you can keep going. So grab the gun and just started ripping, turn the corner and just fire. And I was just hip firing at that point. I was not even using the iron sights. And of course there's no lamb or anything on it. So there's no way to actually see where you're impacting other than kind of where the sparks are hitting the target. But if you hit the target, you just keep going. So I'm just running through this maze, trying to clear it. And then once we get to the final exit area, you have to hit another steel target, I think 3 times. That was just such an adrenaline rush, such a fun experience to be running inside, shooting these targets with a 5.56 at like 3 yards. I think you only got 30 rounds, or maybe it was less, but I think maybe it was 20, 30 rounds in the mag. So you couldn't spray and pray. You had to kind of make sure you're getting it on target or else you're gonna run out of ammo. This was my best stage of the whole match. I finished 2nd overall. Talk about fun. Like, I would do that again 100 times over. So much fun. The other memorable stage I'm gonna share with you was memorable not for the greatest reason. So the stage was set up so that you were protecting a convoy. And so you had a pickup truck to your left, and Ivan filmed this whole thing for me. So big shout out to Ivan. We started from like a shipping container and we're there to protect the convoy, which is the pickup truck. There's separate bays to the right. And these bays, you have to eliminate targets. They're poppers and they fall down when you hit them. The challenge about this stage was that you are required not to stop. So you can't stop and shoot. You have to walk and shoot. And walking and shooting is a lot harder than it looks. And so I was having to keep shuffling while I was shooting, and so I ran into some misses. I started pulling some shots and I just wasn't super accurate while I was walking. One of the bays, I was walking towards the targets and I got kind of deep into the bay a little bit too far, and I realized when I turned there was the wall there, and I did not see that there was about a foot-inch high steel rebar sticking out of the ground. Nods on, I can't really distinguish that on the ground, and it's just kind of hidden, and I just ate shit, dude. I just fucking face planted so good. As I was falling, it's kind of hard to see in the video, but I kept the rifle pointed down range. As I was falling, I was like, oh, I'm going down, and tried to keep the rifle pointed down range because I did not want to get disqualified. And if you break the 180 or do anything dangerous, you can be DQ'd, and that's something I did not want to happen. Kept going, and I finished the stage. That one was a challenging stage though. So targets at the end on the VTAC were difficult to shoot. And one of the things I noticed with using a optic setup and a laser setup that was so high with that riser, on some of the VTAC stages, like I had to stick my rifle through the hole, and the optic was just so high and the laser was so high that it sometimes got some of that IR illumination bouncing off the VTAC because it's just so high and so close to the holes. I ran into some challenges with that, so I would probably in the future not run such a high mount. I think a regular mount size would have been fine because it would have still cleared the front lamb that I had, the Rovivon on there. So the VTAC was a little bit more challenging, but that was one of my worst ones, but it was memorable because I ate shit and it was fun. The next stage that was really fun was in a trench, and the job of the stage, your task was to hit 3 targets from the trench position. But before you do that, you actually have to send a mortar. And so we sent these kind of like simulation mortars, and we throw it down, it makes a big boom. And I think you had to say, "That's what it's all about, Mr. Buttersworth," or something like that. I don't think I said it right.
That's what it's all about, Mr. Buttersworth.
Sent the mortar down, got that in, got that good. And the targets were pretty hard to see through the trees, so I struggled with that a little bit. But once you hit those 3 targets, and then you put your rifle down on safe, and then you have to run up the trench and grab a big heavy box of ammo. I don't know how much it weighed, but it was pretty heavy for me at least. Sprinted up there good, grabbed the ammo, and I think I came back pretty quickly, threw it down, hit the 3 targets again, and you don't want to eat shit, so I was trying to be careful and hold that ammo, which was quite heavy. I think I did pretty well on that stage. So that one was super fun just because it was fun shooting through the trees and trying to find the target, and target acquisition was kind of like the main focus of that stage, and also endurance in terms of strength and quickness going up and down the trench. So that was a fun time. I didn't really notice it while I was shooting, but I noticed that I had canted the rifle quite a bit. It seemed like when I was shooting from a knee or something, I didn't have the rifle pointed straight up. And I think that definitely impacted accuracy because I did not zero it canted. So the point of aim and the point of impact is definitely going to be different when you have the rifle canted, especially with such a high mounted laser. So like I said before, I would definitely bring the laser down to a lower mount that still cleared the front laser, and I'd probably be fine. So those were some of the stages that were really memorable and fun. They're all fun, but those ones kind of stood out to me. It was an extremely fun match. These matches are about having fun, and they're about testing yourself, testing your will to power through some adversity, and I always love that. And there's a great community of people there, people that love guns, people that love night vision. So huge shout out to the Moons Out crew, all of you guys, awesome. The other great thing about this match, aside from the camaraderie and the amazing stages and fun time that you have, is there is a prize table. Your ticket to the event also gets you a ticket into this random drawing that happens at the end. So it's completely random. I think one of the top prizes was a boombox from Q. There was night vision, optics, lasers, everything you can imagine. So if you're ever interested in competing with night vision, it can be the crappiest night vision of all time. You could run passive without a laser, or you could have all the kit that money could buy. Regardless, it's such a good time. The tickets, they sell out like extremely fast. So Moons Out 27, if you want to join, definitely stay tuned, follow the Instagram if you're interested in it. And I know that Moons Out would love to have more competitors, but unfortunately with the amount of logistics that go into shooting a night match versus a day match, you have to have like twice the ROs and twice the staff to make sure it's safe and everything goes according to plan. That's why there's such a low number of competitors compared to some of the other brutalities, which sometimes have 200 to 300 people. Just a kind of a reality, but we would love to see this match grow. I just have so much fun at these matches. So if you're interested, definitely check out the Moons Out Instagram page and stay tuned to Ian from Forgotten Weapons and what he's doing this year's and next year's. I'm sure will be just as fun, if not more. When you watch this video, I will be in West Virginia competing at Moons Out 2026, this year's competition. This year, I'm going to be running a HK 416 clone, the IPM 4D, made by Illinois Precision. It's a 5.56, 10.3 inch barrel, so kind of short. As far as the laser on it, I'm just gonna run one laser this time, and it's gonna be the SMS Trinity. I really wanted to put it through its paces in this kind of environment to see what I think of it. I've shot it on the range, and I actually really like it, especially for the price. So yeah, that was my experience at Moons Out 2025. I'm super excited to compete this year again. And if you're interested, like I said, check out Moons Out's Instagram page. Be sure to follow along with the content. I'm gonna be documenting it. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.
That's what it's all about, Mr. Butts.